Welcome back to Know Your Lebanon, where we test your knowledge of Lebanon's government, politics, and more. For our first contestant, we have Tony Batram. Tony is a journalist at the Lebanon Times, and he's coming in here today to show us what he's got. For our next contestant, we have Professor Dr. PhD Hank Porty. Today's game will be Leopardy. Contestants, prepare yourselves for a best of one game of rock, paper, scissors.
3, 2, 1, fight! 3, 2, 1, fight!
And the winner is Professor Dr. PhD Hank Porty. Since you won, you go first. Pick your category.
Systems, 2 points.
How would you describe Lebanon's political regime type?
I'll go authoritarian hybrid or a flawed democracy.
That is correct. Back to the board. Tony, you're up.
Stats, 2 points.
What is Lebanon's Gini coefficient or inequality?
32.
That is correct. They are moderately unequal, but they're very high in reality. Back to the board. Tony, you're up.
Systems, 3 points.
Describe Lebanon's party systems.
Multi-party system?
That is correct. They're organized along sectarian and confessional lines. All right. Henry, back to you.
Executive, 1 point.
How is the prime minister chosen in Lebanon? Tony.
He's elected.
That is incorrect. Henry, you have the chance to steal.
He is appointed by the president.
That is correct. Back to the board with you, Henry. The score is now tied at 4-4.
I will do stats for 3 points.
What is Lebanon's HDI rating, the Human Development Index? Henry.
0.730.
That is correct. They are ranked number 112 globally. Henry, back to you.
I will do judiciary for 2 points.
Does Lebanon have judicial review? Tony.
Yes, but it is weak in practice.
That is correct. The Constitutional Council can review their laws. Tony, on to you.
Oh, let's see here. Let's go judiciary at 1 point.
What are the main parts of Lebanon's judiciary? Tony.
They have civil, criminal, constitutional, and state courts.
That is correct. Tony, back to you.
We'll go legislature at 1 point.
Is Lebanon's legislature unicameral or bicameral? Professor, on to you.
Unicameral.
That is correct. Unicameral. They have one chamber, which is their National Assembly. Professor, back to you.
Legislative for 2 points.
What electoral system does Lebanon use? Tony.
Proportional representation with religious quotas.
That is correct. They use the modified Gahant system. Back to you.
Go legislative 3 points.
3 points. How many seats are in Parliament, and what are the members' terms? Tony.
There's 128 seats serving 4-year terms.
That is correct. They are elected by proportional representation. Tony, back to you.
Go executive 3 points.
3 points again. What are the roles of the president and prime minister? Professor.
President is the head of state, and the prime minister is the head of government.
That is correct. All right, Professor, back to you again.
Judiciary for 3 points.
Another 3-pointer. How are Lebanon's top judges appointed? Professor.
Appointed by the executive or elected by judges.
That is correct. Politics have heavy influences in appointments. All right, Professor Hank, back to you.
Stats for 1 point.
All right. What is Lebanon's Freedom House rating? Tony.
23 out of 100.
That is correct. They are not free at all. All right, Tony, to you.
Systems 1 point.
Is Lebanon's government parliamentary or presidential? Tony.
Parliamentary.
That is Correct. That brings our score to 14-14. Last stop is our last question, executive, for 2 points. Contestants, are you ready? All right. Here we go. How is Lebanon's president elected? Professor Hank Bordy.
Elected by Parliament.
That is correct. You are our winner. Congratulations, Professor Hank Bordy. Everyone give him a big round of. So now for the Q&A section of Know Your Lebanon. We're going to start out with Tony Battram. Tony, what historical elements have influenced Lebanon today?
Well, it all started with the French colonization. They had that until 1943. They introduced the confessional system to Lebanon, which was a shared powers between the religions. They created quotas that they had to meet. Next followed a civil war. They have many over the years. The most recent influential was from 1975 to 1990. Fought mainly between Christian, Muslim groups, militant groups, whatnot. That ended with the Taif Accord. That ended the Civil War. Led to a 50-50 religious split, which means they had to have 50-50. They need to have 64 Christians, 64 Muslims on each in the parliament. One downside to the Taif Accord, they allowed Hezbollah to stay armed. That has led to many problems right now with the war with Israel and Hezbollah. So that has been a big problem for Lebanon.
Wow. Well, thank you for that insight. But what do you think the major cleavages are in Lebanon?
Well, I talked about first there, you have the Maronite Christian groups, Sunni Muslim groups, Shia Muslim groups. No other way to put it, they just don't like each other. We've seen it in other countries. There's a lot of fighting between those two. The next is the wealthy and poor. There's growing inequality in Lebanon. Big, wide range between the top and the very bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next is the March 8th and the March 14th protests. The March 8th, they're pro-Iran, Syria, Shia Muslim. They defend Hezbollah. The March 14th, they're pro-Western, Sunni Christian, and they're anti-Hezbollah. So you can see where that just causes many more fighting. And the last here is native and refugee. Refugees from Syria, Palestine have been pouring into Lebanon, which it's creating imbalances in the quotas. They're having to change those things, and they're also draining the resources like healthcare, which leads to many natives becoming angry at the refugees. Just the way how that works.
Building on that, Tony, can you tell us a little bit about the civil society of Lebanon?
Civil society in Lebanon, it's actually a bright side.
Sorry about that. Continue.
It's actually a bright side in Lebanon. It's very vibrant, diverse. They do a lot for the community. There's some religious groups in the civil society. Some are united between all of them, secular ones. They really step up where the government can't, because right now the Lebanese government is just, it's in shambles.
Yeah,
so these groups, they provide shelters, food, aid, healthcare. They stand up for rights. They just do a lot that the government can't do it all.
And you get a lot of first-hand access to that.
Right, yeah.
I'd say citizens rely more on civil society than they do on government.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Professor, I mean, what are the major parties in Lebanon, and how do they perform? How did they perform in the most recent election? You should have worked with them.
Well, the major parties, they go based off religion, and they have their own separate movements from the religion. So the Shia have Hezbollah, and they have the Amal movement. Christians have the Lebanese Forces and the Free Patriotic Movement. The Sunnis have the Future Movement. In the most recent election, Hezbollah and its allies lost their seats, and they don't have that parliamentary majority that they used to have. The LF gained support, the Lebanese Forces. They are now the strongest Christian party in Lebanon. Other independent parties also were able to get some seats because Hezbollah lost so much of its majority too.
Yeah,
and those independent often align with the LF Forces Christian groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what, just for the sake of time here, we're going to skip to the end of this segment. Can you tell us a bit about the major problems that Lebanon faces today?
Right, so you got Hezbollah, Israel. If you watch the news lately, there's a lot of fighting going on over there. Bombings. 1.2 million people in Lebanon have been displaced from their homes. So they have nowhere to go. That's what these shelters from the civil society are helping out with. economically, the war has also affected that. They have hyperinflation. Their currency has depreciated 98%.
Wow.
Just the last couple years. Yes,
I think the number's actually higher now.
It honestly could be. Reliance on foreign investments, they're not generating barely anything in actual Lebanon. They rely so much on other Western countries and all countries.
That also comes
help
from
out.
their French colonization too.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I'm sure there's got some ties going back. Infrastructure, they have major power outages. A lot having to do with this war, but
I'm sure.
And their healthcare system is overwhelmed. You got 1.2 million people don't have anywhere to live.
Yeah, it has to.
And their sicknesses, whatnot. Healthcare system is just way overwhelmed.
Wow. Well, thank you both for all of your amazing insight today. That's going to be all the time that we have on our show. I've been your host, Tenacious T, and thank you all for participating on
Know Your Lebanon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Hank, does Lebanon have judicial independence?
Technically, yes, they do, but literally, no, they don't. The courts. I gotta say it like that. I have to say it like that.